Hi everyone, I'm really excited to be here today and to discuss this amazing topic called First Impressions in a Distraction Economy. So, I live about an hour away from Hollywood, and I thought instead of introducing myself, I'd get a Hollywood movie star to do it for me.
After obtaining degrees in business as well as advertising, Haydee Antezana started a 10-year career as marketing manager with leading brands L'Oreal and Lancome. Since 1999, she's been the CEO of Professional Impressions, an impression management consultancy. Haydee has over 20 years of experience as a personal brand specialist, business etiquette expert, and corporate image consultant. She is on the USA Board of Advisors of the Professional Women Network and has received the prestigious accreditation of Certified Speaking Professional, the highest international designation for a professional speaker. She has assisted thousands of men and women from the A to Z of national and international companies, as well as many celebrities, over 13 Miss South Africa winners and Miss World. Today, Haydee will provide you with some valuable tools to portray powerful and lasting impressions and be packaged for success. Please welcome Haydee.
Yay! I love Morgan Freeman because when I play that to audiences, when I do my keynote presentations, I go to conferences or do workshops in companies, it guarantees me applause, even though I haven't said or done one thing. So that really is the power of a brand. And isn't his voice phenomenal? It just carries so much presence and commands authority. Well, just in my words, who I am, I'm a CEO, a three times business owner, a keynote speaker, a corporate trainer, a coach, a recovering perfectionist. I don't know if there's anybody out there that can really sink into that the way I have. And I'm a twin mom at the age of 48. So, um, I have 2.5-year-old twins, and they are just my blessing. I love them to death. So, let's chat a little bit about today. And before I get into the major content, I want to just talk a little bit about where I started my career and how it sinks into this whole topic of first impressions. And I know you're going to resonate with this story. So, I started my career as an intern for L'Oreal Lancome, and one of my perks was to sit in on Mr. Eberhard's biannual review. He was the big boss, that scary French director that would come every so often. And for a girl of 23, this French suit was the most intimidating person on earth. I'm sure you've met one of those people through your careers. And if he were, God forbid, asked me a question, I knew I'd probably pee in my not so French knickers. The lead up to the regional meeting we would have was always chaotic. I I helped my boss prepare his PowerPoint presentation. I arranged for the marketing material samples. You know what it's like when you have to prepare for a big meeting. It's always chaotic, the build up. And I'd done dozens of other tasks. But the memory is still so fresh that I can almost see it in front of me. Oh, by the way, and this is a picture of me as an intern, where I had to actually go and sell cosmetics behind the counter, and that was an humbling experience on its own. Um, so back to the boardroom. The boardroom packs were neatly arranged. The French coffee was brewing. The croissants on the side were ready. I'd managed to get all of that sorted out. And then the suits marched in. Seven middle-aged men and me. Little old me, 23 years old. And of course, safely positioned next to my manager, Eugene. And I try to blend in with the walls, hoping to take up as little space, and not making eye contact would definitely guarantee that I'd be camouflaged in the background. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't unprepared. I'd rehearsed all the answers to all the possible questions in my head. I just wasn't ready to be noticed. Not that day. His question still echoes in my head today. Mademoiselle Antezana, do you think this promotion will make a woman want to buy two shampoos instead of one? This was a defining moment for me, the opportunity I had been waiting for. I had my chance to make a great impression. With trembling knees and bright red cheeks, I searched my brain for a clever answer, some intelligent words. Of course, they didn't come. Have you ever been there? Where just like no words come? Instead, a wave of mumbling nonsense spewed out of my mouth. Even to this day, I can't remember what I said. But I do remember that I didn't make a good impression. And how did I know that? How did I know I hadn't made a good impression? Well, the suits ignored me for the rest of the meeting, and I was not invited to the business dinner that evening. Neither did I get selected to go to the Paris conference. And I connected the dots pretty quickly. And you know what? On that day, I decided I would never again throw away a once in a lifetime opportunity. I made it my mission to find out how to build a standout personal brand. I began researching, studying, and networking with successful people. I applied everything I learned so that one day I too would be a brand of choice instead of a no name brand. And it paid off. Exactly 4 years later, to the day of that boardroom fiasco, I became the youngest marketing manager of the world's number one cosmetic brand. I was an honor student, but college, and yeah, that's me, by the way. That's me in the middle with my team. Um, I was an honor student, but college hadn't taught me the formula to be successful and to be a successful brand and to make a good first impression. And I know I'm not alone. I meet individuals every day with brilliant minds and advanced degrees, amazing people, but they are shocking marketers of their own brand, and the world will never know them. What wasted potential! And I certainly don't want this for you. So, to start off, I'm going to give you one of my first freebies for today. And it's all about creating a standout brand for visibility, credibility, and profitability. And if you go to my website, you're going to get this wonderful free cheat list of the 7 secrets of the super successful. You don't want to miss that. It's www.haydeeantezana.com. So, in this session, we're going to discuss a bit about how to star in the everyday movie of your life and how to be a standout brand, why you should seek attention as the most valuable commodity in a distraction world, how you can apply the same strategies that powerful brands do to increase memorability, and adding brand distinction to avoid extinction. Can you remember a moment when someone walked into a room and their presence just captivated you? When they spoke, they had you hanging on their every word. These people made a great first impression on you, and they made you stop in the busyness of your life and pay attention. I've met many such people in my 29-year career, as well as studied and researched top powerful leaders and iconic figures, the likes of best-selling author Jack Canfield, you know Chicken Soup for the Soul and all the series around that, Rolene Strauss, Miss World 2014, Patrice Motsepe, South Africa's first and only black billionaire, Oprah Winfrey, and Iyanla Van Sant, who is TV personality, spiritual leader. And these people were not born with the skills to command presence, to make those first impressions the best ever. They acquired the skills along the way to create opportunities and maximize their full success potential. So, in the next few minutes that I have with you, I will provide you with 4 steps on how to command personal presence, be packaged for success, and make that first impression count for you. Is this something you think you're going to benefit from? Yay! In today's attention deficit world, we have to compete for 2 of people's most limited resources. What do you think they are? Attention and time. Absolutely. This means that we're fighting against things like cat videos, updates from Beyonce, emails, and thousands of other sources of ping, ping, ping all along the way. So the question I'm often asked is, do first impressions still matter in today's fast-paced world? Yes, of course they matter more than ever. We live in a time when we must compete against, I say, weapons of mass distraction. See attention as your new commodity and a new currency. What do you think we have in common with the goldfish? No clue? Well, a few years ago, it was our attention span, 7 seconds. Today, we have absolutely nothing in common with the goldfish because our attention level is now a mere 6 seconds and a goldfish is still seven. So, to be relevant, we have to draw attention. But how can we do this in a short space of time? So, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this as we move through this presentation. But let me start by asking you, how many brands do you think you come into contact every day on a daily basis? Yep, I hear some of you in your brain going 50, maybe 80, or no, only 20. Well, would you believe that on a daily basis you're exposed to over 3.5 brand messages and make 35,000 conscious decisions? Oh my goodness, no wonder we're so exhausted by 10 o'clock in the morning. So, what is a brand exactly? What do you think a brand is? I often get a logo, um, it's what you stand for. Really, a brand is a promise of an experience that a person, product, service, or company will deliver. It is what people say about you when you leave the room. I love that definition. And in every action, in every message, in every word you put out there, it just demonstrates your personal brand promise each and every time. So I want you to imagine that you're pushing a supermarket trolley down the aisle of a supermarket. Not trolley for the US, a shopping cart. And you're pushing a shopping cart down an aisle of a supermarket, and you have a choice to make. You have a choice to make between this coffee or this coffee. Um, you have a choice to make between these cars. What do you base your product choice on? And just think of one or two, three words. Some people may say loyalty, other people quality. You may say price is important to me. And what about when viewing certain personalities, TV shows? Is it Ellen DeGeneres or is it Jimmy Fallon? Obviously, that goes all according to your personality as well. And these are adjectives of things that we love and like, and that we stand very true to when we are making purchase decisions. But one of the most important essentials of powerful brands is memorability. So, my question to you today is, how are you memorable? How are you making yourself memorable right now? Why would you be chosen for that promotion if you were not memorable? I was working with realtors not so long ago, and I called into their office. I was wanting to buy a home. And I said, I'm really sorry, but I've forgotten the lady's name who showed me a house last week, and it was in Orange County. She had short brown hair, so I described, she had short brown hair. And the receptionist says to me, "Oh, was she wearing a really short skirt and big hoop earrings? I think it's Janet you're talking about." Well, do you want that to be your memorability factor? I don't think so. I don't think Janet would want that to be her memorability factor. So be aware of becoming memorable for all the wrong reasons. And I got on a conference call the other day with a client, and I said to them, it seems that we're just missing one member of the team. And they all said to me in unison, well, don't worry about waiting for Rob. He's always late for meetings. Gosh, is that really something that you want to be memorable for? So, my question again is, how are you being memorable right now? So, let me provide you with some action steps. how that powerful brands use to increase their memorability. And the first one is define your brand. The first step is to exactly position your brand. If you don't do this, others will do it for you. In fact, people have already probably defined your brand. And imagine in the room next door, we've placed everyone that you've dealt with in the last year, from a consultant to a senior associate to a board member to a chairman, and we've asked them for three descriptive words they think of when they think of you in business. I want you to write down those three descriptive words or just call them out loud. Am I hearing reliable? Am I hearing professional? Am I hearing efficient? Am I hearing warm? Am I hearing approachable? What are your words? This is your bumper sticker. Mine is about excellence, style, and commitment. This is my brand identity. What is yours? What is your bumper sticker? What will people remember you by? Your personal brand should tell people who you are, what you value, and what you do. But the sad thing is that people remember and see us through their eyes, not yours. So essentially, everything we do and say has an impact on how others see us. So, a great exercise that you can do to see how others see us is find five close clients, associates, or friends or at work, a manager, a supervisor, and ask them to rate or to provide you with three adjectives. And you can text them, saying you're doing an impression management exercise. Text them, what are the three things that you most think of when you think of me as an adjective word? And if you're in business per se. And if most of them said the same three words and they were similar to yours, then you're getting it right. But if their words were completely different, then maybe you need to tweak and relook at how you are positioning your brand. And of course, the most important job in the world is to be the head marketer of brand you. So I want you to think of this from a scale of 1 to 10, of being exceptional, 10 being exceptional. How would you rate yourself right now as the job of head marketer of brand you? Hmm? Am I hearing a 5, a 6? Yeah, how long ago was it before you looked at your brand? And if someone had to give you a star review on Yelp, what would that review look like? How many stars would you get? What positive impressions are you making on others? Do you recognize this brand? Mm-hmm. Would you believe it's Apple? And how would you view them today, this brand, differently, if they still stuck to that old logo? So you need to think, do you need to do a brand evolution for yourself? Or do you just need to tweak a few things? Well, a brand evolution is about tweaking a few things, looking at your online profiles, your whole look, and or you could say, no, I don't need a brand evolution just to tweak. I need a whole brand revolution, one that is reinventing my brand completely. Do you know there are 2 million apps in the world and 876 million websites and 212 major social networks that your brand is competing against for attention? You need to develop a brand to be top of mind. And re-evaluating your brand is an ongoing, and it's one of the most critical skills to be successful in today's distraction economy. And here's another brand. Do you recognize this one? Yep, there's IBM. So once more, you wouldn't see the company as technologically advanced today if they still had an old logo like that. You need to think, how am I going to evolutionize or revolutionize my brand? So you always need to make sure that you are bold with your personal brand and your positioning. I remember as an intern at L'Oreal, my first manager, he had a great saying every time I presented him with a marketing idea that he didn't like. He said, "Oh, really, Haydee? That's like winking at a pretty girl in the dark. She's not going to notice." The same applies to your personal brand. No one's going to notice you if you don't stand out, and that's in a good way. So you need to secure your real estate as a standout brand in this distraction economy. Be a star in your own movie. As the director of your movie, you get to choose the genre, the props, the costumes, and everything else. How cool is that? And why aren't we using it to our best advantage? You have the power to influence others so that they see your brand the way that you want to be seen. The power is yours. You need to take control of your brand now. All right, so let's look at another way that powerful brands stand out and are memorable. Adding the personal touch. People don't do business with logos, an email address, or a mobile number. They do business with people. What personal touches are you adding to make a difference every single day when working with a client, with your manager, your colleagues? Think about that. And this reminds me of a story. I was traveling to Hong Kong a couple of years ago when I was working in my manufacturing business, cosmetic manufacturing business, and I was staying at the Hilton. I was going to be staying at the Hilton for about 2 weeks, and I got off the plane, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm already missing my family and my baby. I recently just had my daughter, who's now 9. And imagine my surprise when I walked into my room. I started unpacking on the bedside table my vitamins and my reading books, etc. And this is what I saw on my bedside table. In a beautiful frame, a picture of my family. And I actually phoned the guest relations girl. Her name was Sandra, and I asked her, how on earth did you get a picture of my family? And she said, you know, Mrs. Antezana, we realized that you were going to be staying here for a long period, and we phoned your PA back in Johannesburg, and we asked her to please send us a picture of your family. And we thought that you'd be missing them after a few days, so we framed it for you. And I said, and the cat mug? She said, well, she told us that you love and like cats, so instead of drinking out of a Hilton coffee mug every morning, we thought you'd like your own cat mug. Isn't that amazing? That truly is attention to detail and the personal touch. And do you think I will ever return to the Hilton in Hong Kong again? Of course I will. So the difference between being ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra. So think about what is the little extra that you can add daily to take you from ordinary to extraordinary. So let me show you an example of some of the things we have done. Um, when we have small groups and workshops within companies, and if we're going to be holding them at certain hotels, prior to the time, I reach out to one of the admin professionals or PA of the group or of the top manager, and I ask her him to please find out what is the preferred beverage that the group that will be attending our training loves. So, and I asked them to do it very casually, and they are always such a little touch. They're always taken aback when they come out to their coffee break, and in front of them is their favorite beverage with their name on it. And as you can see from this picture, it can vary so much. So that's a little personal touch that doesn't cost anything. I also love what one of my clients, Investec, an investment bank, does is when you walk in, instead of giving you a normal just guest visitor or visitor label that you put on yourself, is they write different sayings all the time. And one of the sayings I had on the day I went to see them was, no ordinary meeting. Such a little thing, but just attention to detail, the personal touch. The next thing I want to talk in between the following step to create memorability is I want to be able to give you another opportunity to really impact with your first impressions. Um, about a week ago, I launched my book called Packaged for Success. It reached number one Amazon bestseller in 11 categories, international bestseller. And if you email me at this email address, Haydee at haydeeantezana.com, I will send you the first two chapters of the book. Otherwise, it's available on Amazon called Package for Success. Warren Buffett was quoted to say, "It takes a company 20 years to build a reputation, but one person 5 minutes to ruin it. Don't be that person." What do you think is the quickest, most tangible way people can see what your brand stands for? What you're wearing. Absolutely. And it's a great tool in the arsenal, a great weapon that you have in the arsenal of brand you. So powerful brands look the part. If you don't believe the messenger, you are never going to believe the message he or she comes with. Your clothing choices speak volumes about your personal brand, provides people with visual cues about what you stand for, where you're going. The correct clothing choices would impact your success outcome in almost any situation. And bear in mind that many people who are already successful or aspire to be successful want to associate with people that look successful. And what does success look like? Make no mistake, it's not the Rolex watch or the Jimmy Choo shoes. If anything, I think some of the worst dressed people in the world are the richest and the famous. But rather, it's the ability to create a look that represents your brand the best way possible. And there are smart cuts along the way to do this that we share in our workshops and presentations. And I'll share a couple with you today too. So, if you think about it, in this distraction world that we are living in, people take one look at you and immediately they decide in less than 6 seconds, even 200 milliseconds, how reliable you are, how credible you are, how intelligent you are, how competent you are. Isn't it scary? Do you think it's fair that we judge by how we look? I don't think it's fair. It should be about my qualifications, my experience, but is the world fair? In the words of Bill Gates, the world is not fair, so just get used to it and play it at its own game. I know many people that have been in the same position for 25 years within their company. They're brilliant at what they do. They could be the CEOs of the company, but their image, their branding has not allowed them to move up the ladder. So think of yourself as a walking resume. You need to make those internal credentials visible on the outside for people to see. And in such a short space of time, you don't want them to start guessing what your personal brand is about. It's got to just be so positioned and really say it straight away. So, a great Stanford and Harvard University study showed that 15% of your success in business is due to your technical business knowledge. Can you believe that? So, what's the balance? The balance is 85% is about your people skills and your professional image. So, once more, if you want to be memorable in the eyes of others, it's about tuning off the radio station, what's in it for me, instead tuning in the radio station, what's in it for them. Focus on people, on that personal touch, on that and on your professional image. So often I'm asked, well, I put it this way, how many times do you wake up in the morning, open up your wardrobe and ask this question? Yep, I know I do, and most of the time my husband's fainting next to me because I'm like, I got nothing to wear. So I'm going to briefly talk about association dressing today. It's one of the most powerful skills you can learn around the topic of image. Um, it's a dress level formula which allows you to make quick decisions of what to wear, depending on whom you see in that day, what type of events you're going to be having, where you're going to go. And even if you're sitting in the office the whole day, it doesn't matter. You're going to be seeing different, maybe different people, different suppliers coming in for meetings, whatnot. Did you know that you can make a disconnection with others by either being too formal or too casual? And this concept of association dressing is just a great way to connect with your client on a visual basis. And it's all about the different dress levels. Your wardrobe has to work as hard as you do. And these dress levels go from the highest to the lowest, from level one formal to level five casual. And through the years, my clients have found it priceless to be able to categorize their clothing at these different levels. Um, Carol, a pharmaceutical admin professional, once told me, since applying the concept, I've spent 2 minutes deciding what to wear each morning instead of 20. And I no longer doubt if I'm going to be over or underdressed for any event I attend. And remember, even someone like Facebook Mark Zuckerberg understands that association dressing. And most people see him in the hoodie and the jeans, but when there's a $2 billion deal at stake, or he needs money from investors, he wears a suit and tie. And he wears suits and ties when meeting with high level investors, head of states, etc. It just shows it's important for him to be taken seriously in those specific situations. I'm going to take you, well, from level one formal to level five casual is once more very specific looks. And we don't have time in this webinar to go through that. And I've put it in my book. Um, But it all depends. Some people say to me, well, how do I know that these pants are smart casual, that this blouse is casual smart? It has to do with the color. The lighter, the brighter the color, the lower the level. The darker, the more neutral the color, the higher the level. The fabric, is it coarse fabric? Like jeans or cargo pants, that's lower. If it's more smooth fabric, it's higher levels. The print and the pattern, if you have bold, big print, it's lower levels as opposed to finer print, a finer stripe, pinstripe, etc., a higher level. And how much detail is in the garment? If you have lots of pockets, lots of buttons, lots of pleats, it's a lower level garment as opposed to less detail being a higher level garment. And it's the structure. The more structured, the more tailored the garment, the higher the level. The more unstructured, the lower. So the differentiating criteria to be able to categorize these. And in my workshops, I bring out clothing and we show these out to all the delegates. But it's very important that you also find yourself a signature style. And our signature style, our way of dressing, evolves through the years. You might see a colleague walking in with an amazing new blouse, and it has a frill down the center, and you just think she looks spectacular in it. You go and try it on, you go to the shop, try it on, and it does not you because it's not your signature style. So, sometimes women, I must say, more than men, are a bit schizophrenic with their signature style. They don't know exactly where they're at. So for that, take a test. My Go back to haydeeantezana.com, and if you go to my blog icon at the top, you will see there is a section there on personal style, dress style personality. And there you can run a quick test and you'll be able to see what is your particular dress style. And you see here Ginny Romity from IBM, the CEO of IBM. She, instead of having a structured jacket, she put in a soft leather jacket for her look. And Helena Folks from CVS, CEO, she doesn't particularly go into suits or prefers more mixing and matching and smart separates. So decide where you sit in terms of your signature style. Are you dramatic or classic? And really try and live it out on your everyday dressing. So you come across as really a well positioned brand. And by the way, I also believe you need to update your clothing seasonally, every 6 months at least. Decide which is the trends in terms of color, fabrics, prints, and just start putting one or two small things in. I believe when people look at you and they see that you're current with trends, they believe you're equally as current in your business knowledge. And finally, for this look your part section is more than dress for success. I believe is you need to dress how you want to be addressed, remembering at all times the quickest, most tangible way people see what your brand stands for is what you're wearing. So let's move on to the fourth way of being memorable. And I'm sure you've heard the saying, actions, yep, speak louder than words. You have to walk your talk. It's no good your body language saying one thing and your verbal communication saying something else. Um, Make sure your body language is aligned with the message that you want people to hear you. Often our faces through the day, we don't even think of our whole body posture, our faces just carry so much stress that we have. Um, and without even realizing, you're walking around looking unapproachable and fierce. Um, and people don't really want to come and ask you anything. They're too scared of you. Um, So don't use body language barriers to stand between you and making those personal connections and your brand and coming across as the brand of choice. And a body language barrier is something like folding your arms. Yeah, you might be cold, but it's seen a lot of the times as blocking off somebody in front of you. And that even goes as far as crossing legs, and especially if you're sitting across somebody that they can see you crossing legs. So it prevent any kind of body language barrier. I want to ask you, what opportunities do you believe you may have lost or are losing by not presenting the most successful brand you? By not presenting the best impression that you possibly could? Do you feel you need to create a standout brand? You need to gain recognition and the bank balance you deserve? Do you want to become a leader in your field? So you may be an admin office professional working in the legal field. You want to become a leader in that field or the financial field. What is it that you want to do moving from here? You need to decide if you're going to go back to the office and fall back into the same routine that you were in before, or do you want to make a decision that can change your path of success? And remember, it's as Anthony Robbins says, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. So I've got a great offer for you today, and the offer is a standout brand consultation over the phone with myself, and we can do it over a conference call where you'll be able to see me, and it's normally valued at $500. And today, for the first 7 people that email me, I'm going to give it for free. So get onto that email. It's Haydee at HaydeeAntezana.com, and and book the appointment, and we'll get onto the phone. But now I want you to imagine the following. It's your birthday, and you walk into the office, and on your desk are 2 boxes. One is a cardboard brown box, and next to it is a beautiful turquoise colored cardboard Tiffany box. Which are you going to open first? I thought so. Most of us would open the Tiffany box first, hey? And why? Because the packaging represents a high perceived value. It's an international symbol of style and sophistication. Doesn't this just show the power that you have in packaging brand you? And And a funny fact is that more Tiffany boxes are sold online each year than actual Tiffany jewelry. So this is just packaging as advertising as its best. So do your customers, managers, colleagues, do they see you as a cardboard box or do they see you as the Tiffany box? What is your perceived value? Do you want people to see you as a brand of choice or a no-name brand? Remember that the impressions that you project daily, not just your first impressions, just your ongoing impression in this distraction world, is your packaging. And you can make it your packaging for success or your packaging for failure. There are very few things in life you have control over. This you have 100% control over. What are you going to be doing with it from here on? It's been great fun being here with you today. And please connect with me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Haydee Antezana 1, Instagram, Haydee Antezana, Twitter at Prof Impressions, and or just come and connect on my website, haydeeantezana.com, and you'll see all the social media pages at the top, and you'll just connect there. I'm hoping to hear from you. You're going to email me and we can talk through our personalized consultation. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.